All right, greetings, salutations, and good now. Welcome back to the channel. Kevin's Major here, doing it major. And we're just gonna do a quick video because we're having a little transition. We're having a shift because Mercury is entering Cancer, and so we're gonna talk about it. We spoke about it in the forecast, so make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel so you could get the weekly forecast. I don't usually do like a monthly, but let me know down in the comments if we should start doing monthly forecasts in terms of like June. I would usually do like the zodiac changes whenever the sun changes position. But let me know down in the comments if you want to hear like the monthly, like until June 1st until June 31st. Maybe that could be another interesting way of delivering the information, and then that way we could get more of the transitions and the shifts, because we know that the sun is going to shift a sign if we do it that way. But anyway, this video is about Mercury moving into Cancer. Now, anytime we talk about Mercury, we think about the mind, right? Thinking, how you intake information, how you process all of your experiences, the knowledge and wisdom that you accumulate from that, and then how you share that information with the world, right? How you put it out there, all right? How you express it. Also, during that whole process of interactions and experiences, there's communication, whether it is verbal, non-verbal, body language, facial expression, however you express yourself or however you receive certain expressions, from the wind, from the sun, from the rain, from the clouds. For example, you know you look up and you see, man, it's a cloudy day, right? That's communication. You're receiving something, right? So all of those are just analogies of Mercury. We also know that Mercury is fast moving planet, fast moving mental energy, Hermes, you know what I'm saying? And so we are thinking about, you know, movement, mental agility, being mutable, being able to adapt and have different perspectives, right? And so this shift into Cancer is giving us a different perspective, a different angle, a different way of looking at things. And when I said angle, you could say a different angel, you know what I'm saying? And also a different demon, because we know when we go through these shifts, they affect us positively and negatively. So let's break it down. We already know Mercury, thinking, communicating, processing that information. And most of that happens, in our local area, in our local geographical area. Now we have the internet, and so a whole new world is opened up by the internet, and so all of that taps us into the Mercury energy as well. And so you could just hop on your phone, hop in the internet, and travel the whole world virtually, right, or digitally. And so Mercury also deals with traveling, physically and mentally. No, it's not like Sagittarius where you're actually going to a foreign land. However, with the Mercury energy, or more so the Gemini energy rather, because Mercury can definitely take you there. So more leaning on the Gemini side, where it's just more local distance, right? And we were experiencing Mercury in Gemini. And so now that it's shifting into Cancer, again, a different angle, a different perspective, a different angel, a different demon. And so we know that Cancer, the fourth sign of the zodiac. Ooh, Cancers. Oh my days. I just had a running with the Cancer, and I know that Cancers could be the most loving, the most bubbly, the most nurturing, all of this beautiful, radiant energy. We're talking about the initiation of the summertime, the fixated portion. And so that first ta-da moment, you know what I'm saying? We're, very welcoming, very nourishing. It's a good time for, taking care of the home, the heart space, anything that makes you feel comfortable, feel safe, feel protected. And so Cancer is a very powerful and very beautiful sign. It's the mother sun, right? Ruled by the moon, ruled by the mood, the emotion. So it's a very receptive sign. very open to giving and receiving. However, it is the heart space which is the most vital, organ, right? If the heart ain't working, then, you know, and so the heart again deals with, safety, protection, nourishment, that motherly energy, and so, a mother is going to take care. I'm just out here looking at some pigs. I wish I could, let me see if I could show you. I'm saying, if I could show you some, hold on. Okay, so you see the pig, right? Hopefully you guys can see the big pig right there. And you see the little piglets just off there in the distance. They're in the mud. So the mother is looking over the pig. She's bathing them. She's feeding them. She's teaching them. And so all of those are positive characteristics of the Cancer sign. And so when Mercury goes here, we're thinking and communicating from a more emotional stance, from the why, right? The why and how it makes you feel, right? So it's more about the emotional sentiment at this point in time. And so everything that we're learning, there's just that different angle where it's the Cancer sign. And so we're quite protective of, what makes us feel comfortable mentally. So certain thoughts, certain emotions, certain people, places, things, that make us feel comfortable. We could get quite protective of those thoughts and those experiences, right? And so even though Cancer is an initiating sign, when Mercury, which is, supposed to be open and spontaneous, again, Cancer is quite protective. And so it could kind of give a kind of fixated type of energy. And so that's something to be aware of. Gemini was teaching us how to be mutable, adaptable, flexible, how to switch things up, how to do things differently, how to get fulfillment by doing different things and different means and different channels. And so we need to carry those lessons into, this little Cancer spell, even though it's not really the Cancer season, but Mercury being here, our mind is already, processing or preparing for what's to come. And so as we dive deeper into the Cancer sign, again, motherly energy, protective, right? Cancers could get quite crabby, they could get quite cold, they could get, you know, it could almost be like a 360, because one time, all loving, all emotional, but then, we got to bring down the rod, right, and set certain boundaries and have discipline, right? Tap them more into the shadow or more into the Capricorn side, right, where you need to stand on business and stand for something. Otherwise, we're going to all fall for something, right? And so just like a mother, she doesn't set up certain boundaries, responsibilities, restrictions in the home, then, damage could be done to self and others. And so there's a heavy, heavy protective energy, heavy sensitive energy, and it's emotional. And so you could do things, say things, to rub a person the wrong way. We all know that, right? We all know that. But in this Cancer time, people are going to be quite more receptive. And I don't want to say emotional, but again, we're going into that summertime. I'm saying everybody's going to be hot. Everybody's looking forward to, you know, whatever the summer is going to bring. And so, emotional intelligence is one of the things that everybody needs to try to, have at this point in time. It's going to be hot outside and we don't want to get hot headed. And so the Cancer is a nice little sign. Mercury could go there to try to cool out, calm down, relax and nurture your mind. That's what Cancer and Mercury is all about, nurturing the mind, protecting the mind. All right, we're gonna have a few aspects. I can't really name a lot of them, but I know that Aries, Neptune over in Aries is gonna be sextiling, right? Sextiling, and so that's one of those aspects that we gotta look out for, where our mind could be under attack. Our mind could be a bit lucid. We could be out there in La La Land, or just thinking about our dreams and fantasies a bit too much. We need to ground that, emotionally with the Cancer sign. And so it's gonna be an interesting period, and we're gonna be here to cover it. I don't want to make this video too long-winded, but just letting you guys know, there's a major shit happening. Maybe in the next video we could do Mercury in Cancer through the houses, as we see how we're gonna be nurturing the mind. You know what I'm saying? What area of your life is gonna be most affected by this transit? For example, if it's in your first house, you know that the first house deals with the personality, your ego. So that's your personal issues, your personal incomings and outgoings, your personal ups and downs, and how you present yourself to the world, and how you personally feel about all of that. And so your confidence, your bravado, your motivation, at any initial given point in time. And so Mercury in Cancer there in the first house is like you're thinking about, how you could personally feel more confident and comfortable in yourself, right? In your actions and how you present yourself and how you're being seen. You might want to nurture, your mind in a way that either, you make certain changes so you could fit in, right, and attract that comfortability. Or you might be saying, man, screw that, I'm gonna double down, what I'm saying, and protect how I feel, regardless of how other people, perceive me, or react to me as a individual. You know what I'm saying? And so you could see that already in the first house is gonna be tricky. If you have that in the second house deals with your values. I'm saying value system, all the way down to your money, property, but your self-worth, right? Self-worth. And so, you know, this configuration in the second house is like trying to nurture that aspect of your value system, and your money, and thinking about how you could protect your stability. You know what I'm saying? Your mental stability, and the thoughts and mental processes, and the mental stimulations and things that keep you sustained and stable, and you know you nourishing and protecting those elements of your life. So the mind state that makes you who you are, that's gonna make you a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? When Mercury is in Cancer, second house, you're gonna be nurturing that money. You know what I'm saying? Your longevity mindset. And so yeah, it might be an interesting video to put it through the houses. Right now I need to go home to do some research, and so once we have some free time, maybe we'll come back and do that video. All right. um, Make some notes and get it all nice and scripted for you, because right now we're just off the top, off the dome, off the rip. I just had the feeling of, okay, I need to go out and express those energies, because that's the season we're in, and it's a good way to get your mind just ready for what we're about to receive. So may the Lord make us truly thankful. For Christ's sake, amen. All right, guys. Major farewell until we meet or greet again. See you guys in the next video. Make sure you check out the weekly forecast. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking about the content. Should we do the monthly forecast? I know we're going to do, the monthly horoscope, sun moving into Cancer. So I'm preparing those notes and stuff like that. Also, I want to do something special. I haven't done any readings in some time, so I think I want to open up 4 slots for readings. Cancer is, the 4th zodiac sign, and so open up 4 slots to do 4 readings. All right, for Cancer readings. Maybe if it's just for Cancers, so you got to be a Cancer to get it, or maybe it's just your transit through the Cancer season. All right, so I'll think about it and I'll get back to you guys with a post. And until then, continue to do it major.